Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Eagle Eye podcast. It is episode 66, and boy, do we have quite a show in store for all of you guys. We'll be breaking down that Cholos defeat in the Liga MX, and then we'll also be talking about the upcoming Copa MX final and the Clasico Joven, plus a little bit of the Lady Aguilas. We have plenty and plenty and plenty to talk about. But before I go any further, as always, let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Christian Rosendo. Christian, how are we?
Pretty cold, but doing all right.
Pretty cold. So it's cold out there in New York. It's pretty hot right now here in California. We're in two different spectrums right now, and let's see how we get things going tonight.
Yeah, man, let's get it.
Let's get in. And I know for those of you wondering where everyone's favorite cowboy is at, he will be joining us shortly. Dylan is actually at a convention that he is hosting. He is giving a seminar on 7 influential ways to become a cowboy. So 7 influential ways to become a cowboy. I've heard good things about it. He'll be joining us as soon as that seminar is over, and he'll be hopping on the podcast. So we hope Dylan's doing some pretty good stuff out there, being Cowboy Dan and everything.
He's representing as well.
Representing in the cowboy world. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight into it because we got quite a long show ahead of us because we got so much controversial topics to talk about. We have so much news to cover, and then of course we always have everyone's favorite trivia that we need to get to as well. So Christian, you ready to get onto this podcast and get things going?
Sir, I've been ready.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as always, let's kick things off with what happened in the previous week. Saturday night, Cholos hosted America in the Estadio Caliente, a match that I was fortunate enough to go down there and give you guys live coverage. I'll talk to you guys about the experience in a minute. But America ends up losing a game 3-2, a game that we thought could have been much easier. A lot of things happened, a lot of controversial calls, a lot of situation going on with the VAR. We'll get into that. We'll get to the bit nitty gritty of it. But Christian, just kind of give me your final thoughts about the game after it finished.
Yeah, very controversial, as you would say. But honestly, if you really dive in deep into this game, we could have won without all the controversy that happened in the game. But yeah, we should have won. I thought we could have won. We had the potential to win. It's just just things didn't want to go our way.
Yeah, I think you're right, and we're gonna do a very, very, very good deep dive into it because I think, as you guys know, and as all of you who have listened to the podcast and maybe have heard us through times out, we know that you guys know that we don't like to talk about the referees here. The club doesn't like to do it. We don't like to do it because I think those are kind of anomalies that you can't really control, and it's not things that kind of it's unforeseen whatever referee is gonna do. So I think America had a lot of fault to do prior to those calls and a little bit afterwards too. And we'll talk a little bit about that because the Copa MX final is getting a little bit heated. I don't know if you guys saw, but the coach said that their players has more heart than all the America side put together. So it's getting spicy. But if we focus back on the Cholos game, I think there was a lot there was a lot that America did wrong prior to the VAR calls, and I think that's something that we kind of have to keep in perspective, especially after the first VAR call where the penalty is given to Tijuana. I think after that the rebound of the team wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. But let's break this down properly. Let's talk the first half because I think the first half is important.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so basically, America comes into this game and they do what we expected them to do. They came out, they took the game to Cholos, made them a little bit unnervy at times, and found the back of the net with a tremendous Guido Rodriguez goal. And after that, you saw them kind of take their foot off the gas pedal again, a story we've been saying a million times on here, Christian. They start the game off right, they unnerve the team, they get that early goal, and again, they just fall back on it, don't they?
Yeah. And you don't like to see that, especially with the squad like this, like the lineup that Miguel Herrera put out. You would kind of hope that these players would like try to demonstrate what they have going forward. Mateo Siribe, who really hasn't been himself this season. You would like to see more of him. Cordova, a player that has been screaming to be.
Oh, looks like we lost Christian there for a little bit. He's frozen. But I think he would. Oh. Is he
Oh,
back? Christian, you back? All right, you're back. You're back. You're back. Keep going. You were saying Cordoba?
yeah, Cordova, a player who's been screaming to be in 11, after, a couple key goals in late situations. Henry Martin, another one who really hasn't been getting the start in league matches. Maybe he could prove something here. So, you would have liked to see this team, try to go forward and prove to us that, they have the offensive capabilities to, put teams away.
Yeah. I think I think you kind of put it right. There's a couple players out there that I thought really were gonna take the game by the scruff of the neck, and they really I mean, let's face it, they really didn't come out to play. I was at the press box alongside with Footmix Nation's own Cesar Hernandez, also part of the Cholos podcast and the Mexican Soccer Show. He was I was explaining to him that look, it's America got the early goal. They're dominating, but I told him like I bet you anything they're gonna let their foot off the gas pedal, and this is something we've criticized them throughout the years because they really have a chance to take this game, to really end this game right away, and they choose not to. And then throughout the whole game, we were talking, we were discussing kind of the tactics of everything, and Cholos did a very good job containing us, even when they were down a goal. And especially when they were up a goal. I think they knew that they had to defend. Credit to Parejas was they were up 3-2. He did the most smartest thing to do, and he wrapped that game up, threw on another center back, made it a back five. And at that point, Piojo couldn't cope with that. So, the team just couldn't respond. But there was players that again just didn't stand up to the hype of everything. I think, like you said, Mateus Uribe, a player that I was talking to Cesar, I was like, dude, he's lost. I know he's in the pitch, but I can't seem to find him, and I'm live in the stadium. It's one thing to lose him when you're watching on television. It's another thing for me to lose him on the pitch as I'm seeing him not that far away. I think that's the most worrisome thing about it. I think he needs to pick up his rhythm. There was a couple players that did stand out for me. I think Benedetti had a pretty good showcase. I think I think that's pretty much it. Guido, of course. I don't like to put Guido in this category because I think he's above everyone else in the league. He's tremendous. I mean, he showcased it, 2 goals, two phenomenal goals.
As a CDM, like, come on, man.
Exactly. Edson, I think had a decent game, although I would say that he has a lot of fault in that last goal.
I think it's just I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, but you kind of have to take into account that Edson hasn't really played center back at all for us this season. It's only when situations call for it, and then when you have your pairing B, Carlos Vargas, another player who really hasn't seen minutes. With Edson Alvarez as center back, it kind of calls for those those chemistry issues and defensive lapses that are bound to happen, especially on a Tijuana team who we knew were gonna get better from the Copa match that we played against them.
Yeah, obviously we knew this was not gonna be the same game.
No,
right? The Copa we blew them out, but that was their B squad. We put out our A squad, and funny enough, now we go to the league. We put out our B squad, and they put out their A squad.
And not to really toot our own horn, but with our B squad, we could have really beat them too. So
we could have won this game.
Easily. Yeah, we could have won the 100%. Could have
easily could have won this game if America doesn't step off the gas pedal. And even after that, they got the second goal, and they went into second half 2-1 up.
Yeah,
you thought, okay, play smart. Don't give away possession. Hold the ball. The most simplest thing you could have done to hold on to that lead was to play. The one thing I've exceeded from this team from time to time again is simple football. Get the ball, do 1-2 passes, keep the ball in possession, move it around the pitch, go back and forth, upside down, doesn't matter. However you want to move the ball around, just keep possession of the ball. That was the most important part. But what happened was America kept giving away the ball. They kept giving away fouls. They kept giving away possession. And little by little, you saw Cholos gain up the pitch. And because of that, you get this weird VAR call that, was apparently we lost Christian there for a second. He'll be right back. But like I was mentioning, you get that weird VAR call, which I get it. It's controversial because it's not 100% clear to me, at least that I've seen it, that there's a foul. And you know what the hardest thing was is you guys had the commentators. I don't know what the commentators were saying at the time, but everyone in the stadium was completely baffled. There's not really a replay screen on for the fans to watch at the Cholo Stadium, and for us at the press box, we have a screen, but we don't have commentators, so we're kind of left out in the dust out there. So it was very controversial, very confusing, and I mean, the call gets made a couple minutes after that play had already happened. I think the ball had already stopped more than once, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think yeah. You're right.
Either way, the referee gives it, penalty, goes in the back of the net. At that point, the first thing you wanted to see was a response from this team.
Right, a response, not only that, but a substitution. And you see that Herrera doesn't use his second. He didn't use all three this game, which he only used two, exactly. So the next sub was made at the 90th minute. You know, you know this game is important because in terms of standings and how tight everything is. So, you know, a tie is okay, but you know we can still go for the win. And you have a Renato Ibarra on the bench. You have a Jeremy Menez on the bench, you know, who can come in and, you know, kind of change the game and change the pace of the game in your favor. And first, number one, you decide to bring it Renato Ibarra at the 90th minute for what? I have no reason. At that point, there's really no point of it, in my opinion. Even though you had 10 minutes, yes, but you know, you could have had him for 30 minutes and that would have done something. Two, you could have brought in Menez as well. And, you know what Menez can do in a little amount of time, given the right circumstances.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the big topics in the press conference. That was actually the last question that they asked him was, you know, why the late substitution, kind of, you know, why make that change, why bring in Renato at that time? And he said, you know, the circumstances were there, you know, the changes would have been different if the game had a different outcome. Basically, he danced around that question, that didn't really answer it. So it looks like even himself didn't know what he was doing. And we said this before, there's been times where Piojo is against the fence and he feels the fire and he doesn't know how to react to the pressure, and that's something that we've criticized him throughout the years. He's gotten better as a manager, but if that's I think always going to be his Achilles heel if he doesn't work on it, you know.
Right. Yeah.
You have to do it. You have to throw it out. I think we would have been I think we would have been as equally content with this game if America would have threw on two more attacking players and this game would have ended 4-2. But you saw the team going at it.
Yeah,
that would have been a different story. We would have been telling a different story. But it felt that he was very complacent, and even 3-2 down, he thought, okay, I still have enough on the pitch. When clearly you saw some of these players were tired, some of these players were out of ideas, some of these players were just fed up with the game at that point. Yes, I get it, because of the VAR calls, you get some heads go down. You know, your mind isn't in the right aspect of things. Everything changes at that point. I get that. One, I want to criticize Piojo for not making the right call. Two, I want to criticize the players for not having the right mental attitude. You were just champions not that long ago. You know that you work and play for America. You know that what the standards are, and you know exactly what you're representing. There are times where the referees are going to be against you. 9 times out of 10, sometimes it happens, you know, and you as a player should think, okay, I have to do my best. I have to push forward and I have to keep going. I would have thought that would have added fuel to the fire for them to go and grab another one after those VAR calls. But if that's not the case, then what's your mindset going into a final?
Exactly.
You know, that's the most worrisome part about it. And I mean, I don't know what else you want to add on to that, but I think the second half was a complete mishap of Piojo and the players as well. I think the blame is to be shared all around. I know a lot of people will blame Piojo, but I do want to look at some of these players and think, why wasn't there enough heart? Why wasn't there enough will and determination to go and find this game? Because it was there. Because believe me, we had enough talent on that pitch, even without the substitutions, enough talent on that pitch. Because I'm looking at players like Ibargüen, I'm looking at players like Mateus Uribe, like Tony Lopez, who came in, you know, who had a brief, brilliant spell, but then kind of just lost himself within those calls as well. You know, I'm looking at these players and they're not responding. I was looking at Henry to do some of the dirty work. He wasn't.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing that was worrisome
Yeah.
for me, the whole part.
No, I think you completely hit everything 100%. The thing that bothers me the most too is, like I said it earlier as well in the podcast, that these are players. Some of these players don't get regular minutes with the first team in league matches. Opportunity presented itself to get minutes, starting minutes against a very important match in terms of the standings and how tight it is. Like I said previously, and like you said, like there's just no heart. Like this is the type of game where you have to prove to your coach that no matter what circumstance it is, whether a opportunity like this or just a regular league match or a Liga match, that you're able to come in and make the difference. And unfortunately, I could, like you said, pick out maybe even two, maybe three players that were set 100% focused on the game, knew what to do, but then the rest were just like, come on, man, like you just blew an opportunity, and it sucks too, but because knowing that you have a final going into it, and what if one of these players get a chance to go into the final and then they just don't perform?
Yeah, I think that's the most worrisome part about it, and not trying to take away the context of the game in regards to the tactical aspect, because I think, like I said, I think Cholos got it right in the moments that they needed to get it right, and America got it wrong. In the first half, we dominated completely in the sense that we had ball possession and we knew what we were doing with it. Yeah, Cholos at times got into our own half, but I think that's because we let that happen. We gave away the ball. We gave them the opportunity to push forward. Once we stopped that, once we got that second goal, once we knew we were ahead, we were playing our game. Second half comes in, like we said, didn't do that. Gave up poor fouls, gave up poor possession, gave Cholos the opportunity to come into this game. And what happens? Well, yeah, you get the controversial calls, and you get a sloppy third goal because of defensive mistakes. And it happens. It happens. That's football. Sometimes the calls go against you. Sometimes they go for you. It's as simple as that. But you can't rely on a call all the time.
Exactly.
You have to go out and you have to find that game.
We're a team, Copa America, the institution. We're a team that cannot rely on referee calls to win us games. We have enough talent, like you said, to go out and beat any single team in this league, and we need to prove it week in and week out.
No, yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I guess it was just a bit of a ramble at this point, but it was the most frustrating part about it. It was the fact that and being down there as well, and anyone who went down to the stadium, and we had a couple of fans that listened to the podcast down there, they will attest to it, that it was a whole different America in the second half. Definitely after the game, after the VAR calls, it was a mess and everything, but still you wanted to see a little bit more. But shout out to everyone who went down there. Shout out to everyone who made the trip. I'm trying to pull up someone's name because I want to give him a very, very special shout out. His name is Leon at Leon_oficial 24 or official. Sorry, not official, official. Shout out to you, my friend, who went down there to TJ from San Francisco. And he was trying to meet up. Unfortunately, we weren't able to because he was waiting for the players to go in. I was already in the stadium, and kind of things kind of got messed up. But shout out to him who made the trip all the way from San Francisco to Tijuana. Let me tell you, from where I live to San Francisco is 6 hours, 7 hours. And from here to TJ, from where I live, is about 2 hours. So he made basically a 10-hour drive from home all the way to TJ. To shout out to you, my friend, who made the trip with your family. And I know that it was a bit of a disappointing result for that kind of trip. But I hope he enjoyed it, because at the end of the day, I did enjoy the match. For the first half, it was a lot of back and forth, and I saw a good America side. Again, second half, things get tainted because of the VAR, but also I think fingers are to be pointed at the team as well. There's got to be some accountability towards it.
And I guess what you do with any loss, I guess you just you take it in, soak it in, notice what you did wrong, and just work on it. But at this point of the season,
it's points. Yeah, it's points that we're dropping.
There's points that we're dropping now, and and it's gonna get a little bit tough if you keep making the same mistakes. No, yeah,
definitely. Anything else you want to add on to this game? Because I think we kind of got to the nitty-gritty.
I do.
Tell me.
yes, we lost, but I think I got a little bit victory. An
Yeah.
hour before the game, America tweeted out their lineup, and I'm like, okay, let me see how many of them I got wrong. Okay, Marchesín, yeah, but okay, I got the defense right. Okay, Guido's there, I got that one wrong. Everything else I got correct though. So for anyone that doubted me or looked at me crazy when I said that lineup, I think I deserve an apology from every single one of you.
Okay, we owe Christian an apology here. That is correct. We owe Christian an
I hope I,
apology.
I hope this gives me credibility as to why I'm here, because people were like, why the hell is he even on the podcast and he doesn't know what he's talking about? But there you go.
Well, Christian Dom is here over here getting the prediction right. I will say this though, that was a curveball you threw me, and I was not expecting Piojo to throw me that same curveball. So shout out to you who got it right. That was correct. The lineup was Marchesín, Paulo Aguilar, Edson, Carlos Vargas, Luis Reyes. In the midfield, you had Cordoba on the right, Ibargüen on the left. In the center defensive mids, you had Mateus Uribe and Guido Rodriguez. In the cam, Benedetti, and up top, Henry Martin. You got all of that correct except Guido Rodriguez. That was
Rodriguez,
completely
I had Tony
scary.
Lopez in, and he came in before, after.
He came in afterwards, yeah.
Yeah. So 99.9% of it was correct. So
99% of it was correct. How crazy is that? Yeah. Actually, that's probably not 99%. Whoever's a math static person probably tell us it's like 80-something%. But still, it's just one person off. It's just one person off.
Thank you.
So we're looking forward to what your predicted lineup for the Copa and for the league game is going to be, because I'm hoping it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's about it though.
Yeah, no, so good job to Christian. But none of us got the prediction right, so that's kind of the sour part.
Yeah, that's the sour part. Yeah.
You said 3-1. I said 2-1. Dylan, I don't know what he said.
I think he said. Wait a minute.
Did he say 3-2?
I think he said 3-2, but he didn't want to give a winner.
And I said for America. Oh, Cowboy Dan is just getting out of his seminar. As you can see, he's on the chat right now. And we'll ask him right now when he comes onto the podcast how it is that happened. But America drops points. I think that's the most worrisome part about it. You're getting down to the crunch part of the end of the season. Chicken Little is kind enough to remind us that our last 4 games are Cruz Azul, Toluca, Santos, and Veracruz. And mind you, at the beginning of the season, I said America was going to lose against Veracruz. I don't know why, but I just had that gut feeling. I still do. And if that's the case, then that's only 9 points available. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. We're going to preview that Cruz Azul game at the end of the podcast, of course. And we'll get you guys ready for the Clasico Joven. But before that, we have to get you ready for the Copa MX final that we will be playing tomorrow at Juarez, nonetheless. So no home game, as mentioned. So we'll have plenty to talk about that in a little bit. But Christian, I think that's everything we had in mind for the Cholos game, right? I think we covered all bases on this point.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, if you guys have anything else in regards to add to that, please let us know on the chat or tweet at us. You guys can always find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Spotify. At Eagle Eye Podcast, and you guys can always take us on the go if you guys ever miss a show. So, without further ado, I think it's time we move on into the next segment.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Well, we give Cowboy Dan enough time to change out of his seminar costume and into the podcast uniform. Christian, why don't we do trivia right now? I think it's a good time to let the people know what they're playing at. No?
Sure. Trivia time. The number 20th of this season. Many of you, I got a personal DM during the week. I forgot what day it was. I forgot the day. They asked me, hey, are you gonna be posting trivia on the Eagle Eye Pod Twitter? My thought process doing trivia was, I did it last season. I don't know if anyone really caught on it, but like I stopped doing it on Twitter and just mainly doing it on the podcast. That was kind of the plan going forward. But if people really want me to keep posting it on Twitter, I will. That just wasn't my plan. So this week there'll be no one on Twitter, but for the following week, if you guys really want it on Twitter, I'll do one for Twitter. But yeah, that's that. The standings are getting updated as we speak. I think, yeah, they're getting updated. So I'll most likely have that out for you guys tomorrow. But uh, but yeah, they've been high points. So if you guys have been here, that's props to you guys. 'Cause you guys are blowing away competition most likely, by being here. So that's the plus of being here and answering these questions. So without further ado, let's get into the trivia question for this podcast, and it is: who were the goal scorers in the last time America faced Cruz Azul?
Oh, now that's a bit tricky. What do you mean last time they faced? Like just in general?
Just in
Last time they
general.
faced,
Yeah,
or
just in
not in
general.
league,
No,
not in
yeah,
cup,
just in
just
general. Just in
just in
general.
general.
Just in general.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Well,
So,
get your questions in, ladies and gentlemen. Get your questions in. I mean, your answers,
oh,
not your
okay.
questions.
Mm-hmm.
Not your questions, your
Get your
answers, your
answers in.
answers.
Well,
Well,
well, well, well. I did not know we had a dress up today.
well, it looks like Mr. Cowboy Dan did not change out of his seminar uniform and came into the podcast looking like Mr. Stud. All right,
Mr.
Dylan,
Stud.
how's it going?
I told y'all if anybody's getting clout out of all three of us, it's just me and Christian. And right now, I'm gonna get most of it.
Dylan looking fresh as always as Emperor Palpatine putting it out there. Dylan, how was the seminar?
Oh, it was great. I was a good turnout. You wouldn't believe how many people were showed up.
Well, if anyone can steer them in the right direction on how to be a cowboy, I think you're definitely in the top three.
Now you're just patronizing me.
Yeah, well, I mean, Billy Ray Cyrus just came out with that song, so a lot of people are hopping on his bandwagon.
Wow, so you're saying he's better than me?
No, I'm just saying
No,
he's catching up
too
to
late.
you.
It's too late. It's too late. It's been said. It's documented now too.
People on the chat saying didn't know it was fútbol picante. Oh, so
Fútbol picante.
it's getting spicy.
It's
It's
getting
getting
spicy.
spicy in here.
Ivan's
Alrighty, well,
Ivan's Hugo Sanchez.
I am not Hugo Sanchez by any means necessary. I would have much rather been Mauro Carrillo at that point.
Dude, they're funny. They're funny when they get into heated debates. I love watching them after an America game.
That's all they do is talk down on America.
Honestly, no. You want to go worse? What's the other one? La última palabra on
La
Fox.
última palabra, dude.
Oh my goodness,
Brailovsky's
bro.
always having to defend the
Yeah,
colors.
seriously, yeah. Dude, I love watching. I love watching both of them. Though me and my dad, instantly when the game is over, we turn on to either one, whichever one is on, and we just start laughing to all the
Me,
comments that are said.
me and my dad used to do that. We can't do it anymore. It's
It's
too
just
much.
too much.
We can't. I can't
We
take
just
it.
start laughing.
I
Honestly.
can't. They should have a hotline where people should call in.
Oh, dude, that'd be crazy. Yeah, imagine all of us got in there, like, oh, hey, this is Christian, the Eagle Eye podcast. You guys are all dumb, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's like, you want real talk? Talk to my boy Cowboy Dan.
There you go.
Hey, and it worked perfectly. I think they got you on camera like that.
Mhm.
Alrighty, well, gentlemen, now that we're all here, I think it's time to get into the mess of things and start talking Copa MX final. Another final that we're blessed to be able to cover with these great, beautiful people alongside us to join us. Gentlemen, we have a cup final, something that we alluded to at the beginning of the season, something that we said Piojo really needed to go forward with. And let's face it, we kind of put all our eggs in that basket this weekend. So I think at this point it's win-win.
Yeah, it's got to pay off. And I mean, regardless of the situation that was presented this weekend, it was still a win-win either way. No matter the opponent, I think once America punched their ticket to the final, it was win.
Yeah, I think at that point you really had to give that sense of, look, we have to go out and we have to win it. I think, like we said, the club was really pushing this forward, and I think that's really got to that has to be one of the main objectives, if not the objective right now. Yes. Dylan, thoughts about the Copa MX final? Excited? What's your thought process? Give us an insight on what's going into the mind of Cowboy Dan just hours before kickoff, 24 hours actually before kickoff, or a little bit less.
Oh man, it's pretty exciting. It's been a while since we've been in this final, and actually a long time too since we won it. So a lot of I guess for some fans too, some emotion going into this game, knowing what's at stake. And I think you said it best too. A lot of eggs have been put in this basket, and it's time for it to pay off. And that's what we got to do. We got to go out and show it that we won it. And like you said, we talked about it before in our preview for the season that maybe it could be an objective, and we would like to see it won and raised by the American players. And so let's just go out, play our game, just do what we've been doing the whole Copa MX season, and that's all we can do.
I think you put it perfectly in perspective right there. I think it's a game that's special to the institution, to the fans, to everyone, really, young and old. I know I've certainly haven't seen America in a Copa MX final. I know, we hear stories, we see videos. And granted, yes, it may be a fluke of a tournament in regards to it. And I think, whether you win this tournament or not, I don't think a lot of people will remember that or will remember you for it. But it's just a little something else to add to the trophy case, a little bit something more official to everything. And like we said, this is something really that Piojo needed to go for, something that has humiliated him for the past couple of seasons, and especially in an America jersey. So I think it's the right time to go about it, and hopefully to be able to lift the trophy. It's not gonna be easy, and we're gonna talk about it because it's not gonna be it's not gonna be a walk in the park. Even though you think you have a second division side like Juarez, a game which I think is gonna have a lot of back and forths. It's gonna be very tight. It's gonna be very tough. And well, we'll get you guys all caught up in that sense. But without further ado, gentlemen, let's jump into this. And as always, give me your guys' predicted lineup for tomorrow, which, by the way, a lot of people were wondering about Nico Castillo, about Bruno Valdez, Oriol Peralta. They will be going to the stadium, but they will not be going to representing America on the pitch. They will be there in support of the team.
Correct.
So heartfelt that they go out and support.
Yep, that is true. But probably because maybe America cut the cable and was like, you have to end up going either way. But just to remind you guys, those players will be out for the game, so there's no way that we're going to be able to have them at our disposal. Actually, the team didn't even travel back to Copa. They stayed in Tijuana, and from Tijuana they traveled today to Juarez. So,
which I think was smart.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you're not that far away.
Yeah, you're not that far from me.
Why would you tire your players out like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it was smart of them to do that. But yeah, further ado, lineup time.
Alrighty, give me your predicted lineup. I am gonna go with the man who got it 99% correct against Cholos. Christian, give me your predicted lineup for tomorrow.
Okay. I'll have Marchesin in net, Paul Aguilar, Carlos Vargas, Aguilera, Jorge Sanchez. That's your back four. Edson Alvarez, Guido Rodriguez, Renato Ibarra, and Clemente on your wingers. Your cam will be Benedetti, and your striker will be Henry Martin.
Dylan?
I believe.
Yeah.
No, my bad. I was writing it down. And I was trying to visualize it too.
Oh, so now you're doing what I do now, right? You're trying to copy me now. You're trying to copy me. All right.
Well, I just wanted to see it, compare and contrast. I'm sorry, gosh, I'm being attacked. Dear Lord, Christian, I'm gonna go with you, man, because I don't want to be wrong.
I mean, it's interesting though because actually, no, it's not really that interesting.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I think I'm sticking to it.
I mean, because that's the best we have right
no,
now.
definitely, yeah, 100%.
Okay. What are you putting, Dylan?
Well, Christian had Marche, Aguilar, Vargas, Emma, Sanchez, Edson, Guido, Renato, Benedetti, Clemente, and Henry.
Clemente and Henry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I don't see how that changes.
Yeah, no. The only one variation I would have maybe possibly thought was no, not even that, because it doesn't defy the rule. Never mind. I don't.
Yeah, you can't. You can't take Clemente or Vargas. They have to play the 90.
I was gonna say take Vargas out, put Edson there with Aguilera, and just put Cordoba in replace of Edson. But you can't do that because Vargas needs to play. So, never mind.
Or
Christian's so hostile because he just realized that he needed to keep them in.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like, damn that rule.
Yeah, that rule sucks.
Or what you could do and I think this would be a lot even riskier, is you could put Edson in the center back position with Emma Aguilera, and instead of playing Vargas, you put in another youngster in
Like,
the midfield. I think Aguilar is his name. Um, he suffices the rules,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
he
you can
does.
have him.
He does,
Who
sir.
I mean, we've seen a couple of things from him. He knows how to hold his own. Don't get me wrong. He played a pretty good game
Mm-hmm.
against Atlas in here when they came to the Suburb Center.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember the Manchester United game. He played a pretty decent game against them in the friendly.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought that was one of the players we kind of highlighted from that match that you keep an eye out on this season.
So, I mean,
There are some variations.
after
Right.
poor performances against Cholos, I could see it happen. But
But
I think Piojo would go safe. And
and repeat the lineup that we put against Charlotte. That was my lineup. Just repeat the lineup against
yeah.
Charlotte. So that's that. That's the lineup. I wouldn't really change much.
Dylan, we are in agreement?
100%.
Okay. Alrighty then. So if we can agree to that lineup, and I'm seeing a little bit of reports in the chat saying that Bruno Valdez is playing by Chicken Little. We'd have to see whether or not that's true and confirm that. But we're gonna roll with the fact that they're not available to us. What is one thing that you guys want to see from the America side?
Good decision making in the final third.
Okay.
Just keep the pressure up, we, with all due respect, we know that we are much more dominant than Juarez is. We know we are much better than them. We, in any given position, we are the better team. Just keep the pressure up, man. Like they're not gonna do much if you're constantly, giving them headaches, going forward, pushing up your lines, not giving them room to breathe. Like our good friend Diego said, don't lose the momentum, just keep it going. Don't let your foot off the gas pedal, because the minute you do, we can't really be so confident against a team who just, blanked boom us out 2-0. And we got to realize that we're in their home stadium in front of their fans that are going to be pushing them to the max. So any little breathing room that you give them is an opportunity for them to strike. And with these second division teams, they're very unpredictable because we don't have enough time. We don't play against them, and video can only provide so much. So they might have a few tricks up their sleeve that, like I said, at any given moment, they can just, pull out.
Yeah. I think agreed. And I think one thing that I want to do mention is the fact that you can't take this side lightly. I think if you saw, I'm sorry, I was about to laugh because I saw our friends for La Resaca Americanista saying Narciso Mina is going to start tomorrow. I think he's a little bit too busy rebooting That's So Raven. But he's you never know, he might make a surprise appearance. But it was one thing, you can't take this team lightly. I think that's something that Pumas did in the semifinal. They took this team lightly, and they completely got thrown around because of it. Juarez capitalized on what they were doing wrong, on everything that they did poorly against Juarez, and Juarez absolutely destroyed him for it. You can't do that. Now, another thing that I want to put in perspective as well is that this is an away game, and we have struggled. We have struggled away games this season, not just in the league, but in the Copa too. Not saying it's impossible, because we've gotten away wins this year. They've been little, but they've been there. It's just something that we have to keep in perspective. This is not your home territory. You will have fans. Don't get me wrong. Juarez will be filled with Americanistas all around. But you also have to remember, it's not your pitch, it's not your stadium, it's not your home environment. Get that out of your mind and just focus on the game at hand, right? I think that's the most important part. Like you guys said, keep up the momentum, better decision making in the final third. Like I said, time and time again, play the simple game. Play the simple passes. Move the ball around. Get a feel for it. If you want to get rid of those nerves in the first opening minutes, if you want to get rid of that kind of away environment vibe that you have, get a hold of the ball, keep the ball, move it around, make it yours. Let Juarez chase it. Let them get tired off of it. get them on the counter and break them like that. That's as simple as that. They are fast, they are pacey, yes, but they are not the quickest when it comes to making the defensive runs. So I will say that much. I'm looking at Clemente to have a big game, to step up. A kid that has shined here and there. He's had bits and pieces. Now I need him to give me a full 90-minute performance, and this is the game for him to do so.
100%.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Henry, a person
Henry.
that has taken this game by storm in the Copa MX, at least a person that I need to continue to perform. And Dylan, this is your boy, so I know you have plenty to say about him. I need him to continue to do the good things that he does and excel at the things that he already is really good at. So, with that said, I think I'm really looking for our attacking players to go out there and get the game and take the game to Juarez. Don't let them take the game to you, because then that's going to be a whole different story. Keep them on the pressure, keep them on their toes, get them early. And like we said, get an early goal, right? Get an
100%.
early goal and don't let up. Don't let up. Like we said, it doesn't matter. You can have respect for the team, great, but go out there and destroy it. Like we said, you can win by 1 goal, you can win by 6 goals. It doesn't matter. You have to go out there and you have to keep pursuing. You have to keep chasing the game. You have to keep chasing the goal. And I don't care if you're up 3-0 by the 20th minute. You go out and you score another 3 before the end of the half. And that's how you got to keep going. That's how you have to keep playing. The team has everything to go and take the game. To America could easily go out and pursue and win this game comfortably if they wanted to. If they so desire this tournament the way that Piojo has said it and the way that the players have been talking about it, then they have everything in the locker room to go out there and pursue and get this game. Dylan, I'm curious to hear what you have to say in regards to everything. How do you see this team coming into this game after everything that's been going on throughout this week? Knowing what these players have to offer, knowing what these players have to give, what do you expect from them, and what do you think is gonna give come tomorrow?
Basically, like you said, we have the depth, we have the talent to go out and play. You just Piojo's got to put in their mindset, that this is your time. Despite the fact, that no matter what anybody says about the Copa MX, you have to go out and play with heart. I mean, you have to, because I think y'all said it best when I was listening to the beginning of the podcast. Talking about Cholos is, we didn't see that from the team, and I absolutely agree with that. You didn't see that from everybody, and so Piojo's got to turn things around now and get that momentum going again, and telling this team that they have to go out and play with heart. I mean, it's the bottom line. It's the bottom line. It's not one player on the pitch. It's not 2 players on the pitch. It's 11 players on the pitch. We can't just rely on one person. It's got to be everybody.
Christian, anything else to add on to that?
No, I think you said Dylan summed it up perfectly. It's a final. You need 11 of your players to play exceptional, and that's how you win. That's the only way to win, in my opinion.
And it's interesting and true, because I think in a final, you can strategize and you can put as much tactics to this as possible. At the end of the day, it's a team sometimes with the most heart. It's a team that wants it the most. It's the team that's willing to go and fight for it the most that comes out on top. Let's be honest, and it's something that I think Juarez knows as well, because, like I mentioned to you, Christian, at the beginning of the episode, is that the Juarez manager made some remarks about the game tomorrow and said that his players have more heart than all the America players put together. So, I mean, what is there to be said about that? Are the players going to go out and showcase that they have more heart, that they feel more for this institution and more for this competition than the other side? I think that's important too. I think that's something that you need to give into context, and I think the players need to understand that, and they need to go out and give it the best, because they're playing not only for themselves, they're not only playing for the institution, but like they said, they represent a fan base worldwide. I'm not even talking nationwide. I'm not, it's a global. It's global. Let's face it. They got fans from all corners of the globe, and they're going to be tuned in tomorrow, and they know that they have a debt to pay to those fans for being there week in and week out. And it's as simple as that. You get paid to go win trophies, so you go out and you do so. You show heart because you know that you're not only playing for yourself, but you're playing for the institution and for everyone who's backing you up. And I think it's important that the players go out and perform it and showcase it. I don't want to see an America that's gonna go out there, get one goal, and then just call it a day and go and try to get them on the counter. I want to see an America that says, okay, we got a goal. Okay, let's go find another one. Okay, we got another one. Let's keep getting one, and let's keep going. And that's the America side that I think all of us want to see, not just me, but I'm sure you want to see that. I'm sure Dylan wants to see that. I'm sure that Asaka wants to see that. I'm sure Chicken Little and everyone that's out here and listening, they want to see that.
Damn right, I want to see it.
But I mean, I want to get your guys' take on the tactical side of things. I know we haven't seen Juarez that much, but let me tell you how they're most likely to come out and play. Is they're gonna try to push us. They're gonna try to get in our face, and most likely they're gonna try to get us on the counterattack as well. How do you combat that? How do you make sure they don't get into their rhythm and they don't disrupt ours either?
Break their legs.
Well, in the clean way, because if that's the case, then we might be down a man pretty early.
I'm gonna use Dylan's favorite term here. I think it's coming up. It's control the midfield. I think if you have Guido Rodriguez and Edson Alvarez perform like they have been these past couple of weeks, I don't think Juarez even comes close to getting in their rhythm, because the way Guido and Edson just take over a game we saw it against Tigres. We saw what they can do against a top-notch team. And if they can replicate that tomorrow, I just don't see a way for Juarez to really, implement their strategy, their tactic, their, like you said, get in their rhythm, because it's not going to happen. If you have Guido and Edson dictating the flow of the game and going up, setting up connections, really connecting with the offensive players, with Benedetti, who is going to be my player to watch. If he can really, do him and really create spaces, move great with and without the ball, this team's going to be scary from all angles, no matter how you put it.
Yeah. I mean, perfectly worded there, Christian. I did perfectly said. Dylan, anything else you want to add on? Because I know this is your bread and butter when it comes to the midfield.
No, I mean, Christian said it. Christian said it right. I mean, right there, like he said, the bread and butter, or maybe I like to put it, A1 sauce on my steak, or A1 sauce on mashed potatoes. A1 sauce on mashed potatoes. I mean, call me weird if you never tried that, but it's really good, so you should try it. Anyways, but that's just how it's gonna have to be, and it's not necessarily got to fall on Edson and Guido, but we've called out Vargas a bunch of times. We have to see Vargas step up and really help out Aguilera in the end.
Yeah, definitely. I want to read something that our good friend Carlos Diaz said. Just basically cut their bloodline, control the mid, control the tempo. Don't give them space in the wings. Their 1-2 passing is lethal. Cut their lifeline down, and they'll really show why they're in second division. I think I think that sums up perfectly. Saying what I said, what you said, and just exactly what Christian just said right now too. I think it's a mash of everything. So I think the fan base is ready. I think the fan base is pumped, and we're excited to be able to bring another final coverage to the great people of the English community. They're excited to be able to watch this and be a part of this. I think every Americanista out there, English, Spanish, French, Japanese, or
Irish.
Even Irish. Irish is not a language. I'm pretty sure they speak English.
Yeah. I was just thinking about a good friend from Ireland.
Yes, Fenton Diamond. Shout out to Fenton, who unfortunately probably is not awake at this time, but will be awake for the Copa MX final. So shout out to him. I think they're ready for this. I think the fan base deserves a happy memory of the Copa. This tournament's plagued us with bad memories, and I think we're not going to be in this competition next season, of course, because we're going to be in the Conca Champions. And I'd like to be in the Conca Champions League even after that. So if this is one of the last times we're going to be playing Copa MX for a while now, I think
It's good to go out on top.
I think it
Wait,
would be a good way to go out and exit. If we're going to be kind of away from this competition for quite some time, which I could see that happening because we'll talk about this against the Cruz Azul game, but I could see America making a run for the bicampeonato, and determining on how the summer goes. I can definitely see how things can go and everything like that. But I don't see America being in the Copa MX for a long time, hopefully. And if that's the case, I really want them to go out on top and lift that trophy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anything else you guys want to add on?
no,
I think Ivan, you just summed it up perfectly.
for real.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, just to kind of end this on a note, kind of like always, whenever America has these big games, just kind of,
Here it comes, guys. Get your tissues ready.
No, it's not a tissue. It's not supposed to be sad. If anything,
Get your
it's just supposed
tissues
to
ready.
be a little bit of motivation. Like I said, go out and determine and showcase as to why you're in the institution, why you're playing for the club. Go out there, enjoy yourselves. At the same time, know that you have a responsibility and a duty to the fan base. I think that's something that maybe gets ignored by some of these players sometimes when it comes to these big games. And no time to get small. Get big, and think of the reward, not just financially, but think about it in the aspect of personal and for the club as well. There's 90 minutes, and hopefully you end it in 90 minutes because you have a flight back to Mexico and a Clasico hoping to think about as well.
Mm-hmm.
Be
I
well-rounded
mean,
in how
they're
you
still in
play.
Mexico.
Play well. It's like it's still a ways of a travel, man.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
still in
only have
Mexico.
a couple of days to recover.
But
So
it's still in Mexico.
yeah, but all right. Well, apparently Dylan says you can go back on Friday. That's not gonna be a big deal. Just go out, stay, and party. No, but definitely go out, get ready, showcase, play, determine 100 and not 100, 90 minutes to complete the mission at hand, and just go out there and be fun about it and showcasing and give the fans, your family, the institution, the glory and happiness that they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's something that really is going to set you apart, and you can go down in history as the team that won the Copa MX and put America on the score sheet for the most titles of the Copa MX ever.
There you
And
go.
If it was me out there, I know that I want to be going down in the history books as well. So I hope they go out there. I hope they play the 90 minutes, and I hope they play with heart, with honor, with courage, and with determination. And if they do so, I promise you guys that tomorrow we get a victory. Gentlemen, with that said, scoreline prediction for tomorrow, just less than 24 hours to go. Dylan, what are you going with?
2-1.
2-1. Alrighty. 4?
America, duh.
Oh, duh. Okay. All right. Christian, your prediction?
3-0.
3-0. All right. Exactly what I wanted to hear. I'm going with a 2-0. I'm going 2-0. America gets a good, comfortable lead, gets it going, and America gets the victory after 90 minutes. And we're coming back on Tuesday, hopefully, talking good things.
People are on my side. 3-0.
People are on your side. I see Chicken
3-0.
Nugget saying 2-0. I see Chicken Little saying 3-0. Luis saying 3-0. Carlos Diaz saying 2-1. Unfortunately, they get a goal back, but America still gets the victory. Wow. So much enthusiasm for this game. Diego Martinez going 3-1. Oscar going 4-0. I would have said 4-0, but I had to retire that statement during the World Cup. Dylan now apparently changing his mind on the chat, going 10-0. That's possible. I said it's possible. America has it. Chicken Little going with an absurd 100 goals to 0. That would be something.
I don't know if that's even possible.
Damn, that's like 2 goals per 30 seconds, no? Or per minute?
Listen, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a liberal arts major. Leave me alone with math.
Alrighty, gentlemen. Well, that does it for the Copa MX preview. We hope that you guys are tuned in tomorrow on Twitter and Instagram, as we will have you guys covered with everything in regards to that game tomorrow. Live recaps of everything that's happening, live tweets, live updates, news, everything from dusk till dawn. We'll have you guys covered on all aspects. So we'll have to decide who has first half, who has second half. But one of us will be covering you guys throughout the whole game. So I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys are joining us. Hope you guys are over there. We are what, Christian? I believe 150 followers away from getting to 1,000.
A little under 150, yes.
A little bit under 150. So thank you to every single one of you guys. We have broken the threshold. We have never thought we'd be here so close to 1,000 followers before the end of the Clausura. Tremendous support that we've gotten from you guys. So again, thank you so much. Because of you guys, I was able to go down to TJ and cover the game. Because of you guys, we have been able to do so many great things for you guys, and hopefully we can continue to move forward and give you guys and produce more amazing content that we have planned for the summer. Copa Oro is coming our way, so we have ideas for that. And then of course the Apertura, once it does happen, we have a lot more coming in store for you guys. So I hope you guys are excited. Don't think that we've forgotten about anything or any one of you guys. If for whatever reason something has not gone right in a giveaway, like Christian tweeted out yesterday, please DM us. We are we're very upset at the post office for losing some of you guys' stuff. We will get in contact with them. And again, thank you so much for every single one of you guys who have supported us. I know the boys are extremely grateful, as much as I am. So thank you again, because we're so much closer to 1,000. And let's face it, gentlemen, once we reach that 1,000, we have to do a pretty big giveaway, don't we?
Oh, baby. The thing with the 1,000 is that I remember the meeting we had prior to I forgot when it was, and we said, guys, I think we should aim for 1,000 followers by the end of 2019. And like we said previously, we are under 150 away from reaching our goal almost 6 months in advance. So the support has been tremendous. Like we just have run out of words at this time to thank you guys for all the support you guys give us day in and day out. So thank you guys, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Definitely. Dylan, anything else?
I love you all, and I wish I could buy you all barbecue.
With A1 sauce, right?
With A1 sauce, yeah.
Why are you eating barbecue with A1 sauce?
Hey, man, does it look like I'm a barbecue guy? I'm a carne asada type of person.
You could put A1 on carne asada?
I'm more of a salsa verde than an A1 sauce.
Ooh, salsa verde.
Well, I mean, it's just preference. I mean, A1's a steak sauce, not a barbecue sauce.
Well, what's it called? Okay. Damn. Okay. Yeah. Relax. Yo, what's with the hostility now from Dylan?
Yeah, just because of the food. This is not the Food Network,
unbelievable, man.
Y'all are offended me.
Alrighty, well, gentlemen, let's get up to our second to last segment of the show. Obviously, as excited as we are about this Copa MX final, we also have to put in perspective the league, which is still not anywhere near ending. And like we said, it's crunch time. It's really crunch time. We have to play against some really tough oppositions, and none other than the Clasico Joven itself, Cruz Azul, a team that we faced not that long ago in a final and beat them 2-0 at our home stadium, even though they like to say that it was their home ground as well. Let's face it, last season they were coming in much better form than they are right now, but still can't take them lightly, especially in the Clasico Joven. Gentlemen, does anyone have Cruz Azul's track record for the past 3 games to see how they've been coming at us?
They're coming off a win right now.
Yeah, I know that. They're coming off a win.
They're coming off
Querétaro.
Their last 5 games, they have 4 wins and 1 draw.
Wow, great form.
Yeah.
Great form, better than ours.
They are. They're coming in hot, you know. They beat Querétaro, big whoop. They tied against Monterrey at their home stadium. And, they beat Pachuca and they beat Atlas. So, teams that we beat as well. But again, something that we can't really take too lightly against them because of everything that's been going on. They're just they're literally tied in points against us. The goal difference is shockingly the same. And the only reason why we're up is because we have more goals in our favor than they do. So,
This is it.
like we said, you can't draw points. You can't give anything. I don't even think a draw settles anything at this point. I think you have to go out there and get all 3 points.
It's a must. Not only because of that, but it's a Clasico. You don't want to lose or tie draw a
You don't want
Clasico.
to. Yeah, you want to give you want to take the league points and everything out of context.
Mhm.
Then you want to focus on one thing. It is
Yeah.
the fact that this is a Clasico. It's a Clasico Joven nonetheless, but it's two teams that maybe have had a little bit more recent history than I would say maybe
Mhm.
Pumas or even Chivas. So it's something definitely special, not just to the clubs, but I think to Piojo as well. I think this is something that he really looks forward to. He yearns for the opportunity to go up against Cruz Azul and to continue his good run of form.
Yeah.
It won't be easy, although this time technically we're gonna be home, so that should be interesting. I mean, what can we say? I think it is difficult to preview this game because of the Copa MX match, because a lot of how you come into this game will ride off that momentum of the match.
Yes.
But if we try to take that out of context and we just focus on maybe the league aspect of things, the Copa will be done and dusted. So you know that you're gonna have your players no matter what. Now there's no need to save them for the upcoming week. I think you go and you start the best starting 11 at that point, right?
Yes, sir. The best 11 we have, barring any injuries that may come into this match.
Which I think shouldn't be much. I think Nico should be good for Saturday. I mean Sunday.
For
Sunday.
We're playing
Sunday.
Sunday.
It's Sunday.
I think Nico should be good, correct?
Nico should be good.
Bruno
think,
should definitely be good.
yes. Who's the other
Oribe,
one?
I guess, is still on the fence, right?
Oribe could be there. And if he is, it would be a bench position. But even then, I don't think he would make the bench either way. So
okay. So let's start as always where we always start things off. Give me your guys' predicted lineup, and then we'll get things rolling. Because this is completely different, but I mean you don't have to worry about Copa now, so I think you guys can play around with that easily.
Sure.
Are we assuming Bruno's ready? Is that what we said, right?
I think we're assuming Bruno's ready. We're
assuming
assuming Bruno's ready. So Dylan, I'll give this one to you first. Give me your predicted lineup.
Okay, Marche, Aguilar, Bruno, Emma, Sanchez, Edson, Guido, Renato, Benedetti. Wait, is Ibargüen out or is Ibargüen good? I can't remember.
He's good.
Ibargüen's good.
He's good. Okay, Ibargüen, and then I'd say Henry.
Okay, so you think Nico gets a bench spot?
I mean, I kind of see it because I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like he could be ready, but at the same time, I feel like he couldn't. But I see him coming off the bench if he gets that bench spot.
Okay. Christian?
I have the same exact lineup. Just my striker will be based on what happens tomorrow. If Henry has a great game tomorrow, he will start Sunday, no matter what. If he doesn't, you'll see Nico there.
Okay, understandable. So I think for all sakes, we're gonna start Henry and we're gonna have Nico on the bench. I think that's important. That's something to keep in mind because I think determining on how this game goes against Cruz Azul, you might need to throw in a Nico for either a second striker or just a man for man switch. Which I think is something that we'll bring up a little bit and kind of discuss that. But of course, America is going to be hosting Cruz Azul this Sunday at the Estadio Azteca. What time is that game going to be at? Let me see.
7:30 my time.
7:30 your time. So that's 4:30 my time. That's a very odd time to play. But works perfectly for me. Do you guys ever remember, Christian? Well, not you, Dylan, because I don't think you were able. You never got that time. Did you remember when America used to play at 2:00 in 5:00 your time?
5:00 my time. Yep. I remember
Sundays.
I remember 5:00 and I remember 6:00 if I was not mistaken. See, we played 6:00 one time too. I think that was like the end of the Dark Ages. That was around that. And then
the end of the Dark Ages, perfectly put. Those were good. Those were nice.
I like them. I just like seeing
nice. It was very family orientated. Those games,
definitely.
The Azteca was always, I wouldn't say 100% full, but it was always a good showing. People were just gotten out of church. People were just there at Mexico. So they're like, all right, let's go to the stadium. It
I
was it
just
was a good it was a good time, even though it was a bad time on the pitch. It was a good time,
mhm.
in the atmosphere.
I just remember
But
waking up Sunday and then going to my soccer game, knowing that I had America to come home to after my game. So that was always nice.
that was nice, right? That was
Yeah, that was
always
always
nice.
nice. That was always nice.
That was always
Yes,
nice.
sir.
We're over here. Look at us fangirl, reminiscing about the past. But yes, America will be hosting Cruz Azul this Sunday, of course, because of the Copa Mickey's game. They got that extra day of rest, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, 6:30 p.m. Central, and then of course for people down at the East Coast, 7:30. So, like we mentioned, pretty odd schedule, but still, regardless of the matter at hand, it's a Clasico Joven. It's a home game, so I'd expect people to show up to the stadium. It is a Sunday, and who knows? Maybe if it's like a really good turnout, they will push for it. I don't think so. It's not prime time anymore. Now it's all
Um,
about ratings. It's all about making sure that you get that prime time spot. Um, but regardless of the fact, that's not kind of the discussion at hand. We're going up against a Cruz Azul that is, again, just the only reason they're not ahead of us in the league is because of our goal differential. So it's time to it's time to stamp our authority in the league, and to keep pushing, because yeah, you lost against Cholos, but you were so lucky that Monterrey lost against Toluca the way that they did, and
blew
because of that,
out.
still just a point away from third place. I think America needs to secure that spot. I think I'm okay with America not getting second, but third, I think, is very, very important. I don't know how you gentlemen feel.
No, I just think any high position, higher than fourth, whatever, it's a good position for us to be in. I just think just what we are, fourth, yeah, but we should really be second or third.
Done.
I mean, I said top four at the beginning of the season.
I don't know. I'm looking at fourth spot. I don't like it.
I don't
I'm
like it
being
at all
honest
either.
with you. I don't.
We have a lot
Well,
of teams that
suck
can
it up.
that can creep into that fifth spot, and teams that I don't really, it's not that I don't think we can beat them. It's just teams that can give you a surprise any given day. Given an off day from us, a good day from them, it could be bad.
Yeah, and I think that I think you put it perfectly right now. I think now needs to be the turning point of America's season. I know we've said that 2 podcasts already in a row, but this literally has to be the turning point, because how much of your Liga run is based on momentum? So much.
A lot. You really look at the
So
Ivan
not in the
Freeze.
sense that in that, not that they're burning, but they need to catch form. They need to catch rhythm. They
Yeah.
need to get things going.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
100%. You've seen teams in the past, really do hot when it gets to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then they just go out on a Liga run. And, I think I guess we're kind of in for that right now, hopefully. I honestly do think if we really get this win on Sunday, the motivation and the confidence is going to shoot out the roof, and it's going to look great for us. But we need to win, though. A draw will not do that. Only a win will.
Yeah, a draw will not suffice. So let's talk tactics. This is not the same Cruz Azul side. This is a
No.
different Cruz Azul team. A team that's starting to pick up rhythm and form. So it's time for us to kind of throw them off their horse and get back onto ours. Dylan,
Mm-hmm.
how do you think? What's the best way to go about this? How do we take team down, and how do we get back on our high horse?
Well, I think a good thing too to point out is there's not going to be no Carlos Vaca there in the midfield for Cruz Azul. So I mean, they're going to be missing the hole, but at the same time, I think they kind of feel it. But I think it's just the same way we've always wanted them to. We got to take the game to Cruz Azul. I mean, we got to, and we got to step on that pedal like the full 90. I mean, it has to be. Like you said, if we really want to get the momentum going and everything, and we've seen this way the team plays like we wanted them to, then I don't see why they can't do it the whole 90 minutes. But it's just got to be. It's got to be. We can't let Cruz Azul get in the game, because I mean, like we said, we've seen it. I mean, we've seen them score goals. It has to be. We can't let them get in the game.
I think completely 100% agree with that. I think we also have to play on the fact that we have pretty good home form this season. Tremendous home form, I would say. So play off of that. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see an America side come out and play Cruz Azul the way that America played against Chivas. Go out there determined, knowing that it's a Clasico. Go out there and play your game. Get in their face again. move the ball around and just get that goal and just keep going at it. Don't let up. It's basically the same thing we say again and again and again. I don't think we're never going to stop saying it until we actually see it come to life for the full 90 minutes. Like Dylan said, for the full 90 minutes, we've said just give me a good 45 and then we'll see from there. Now you need to give me a full 90 minutes because guess what? Liga is around the corner, and I cannot stress enough how important it is to get rhythm going.
Yeah, no, 100%. You guys put it perfectly. I think that I'm looking here. It's we when we talked about America this season and their squad, we said that we had enough players to make two very good teams. That could be a huge part when it comes in terms of the substitutions we can make during the game for any given situation. Not saying I follow Cruz Azul so much, but looking at their bench, you may have one player that can probably make a difference of their whole team. Their starting 11 is their starting 11. That's their best 11 players they have to offer. And, their bench, it's not really that strong compared to ours. So, in terms of tactics, I do think that if we want to change something up, I think we have the advantage there, and I think we should utilize it if necessary.
Interesting. Okay. I think we have more depth than them, I would say.
100%.
Right? I
200%.
So, I mean, in that aspect, I think we should feel confident that we'll be fine. It's just getting the players out there to go and perform and play. Again, it's so difficult to break this game down because we don't know what the attitude is going to be like after tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we're hoping for the best and we're expecting the best. But still, even in that, they could still be riding on cloud 9 because of it, and that could be detrimental to them. So, really need them to be grounded for this game. Really need them to get their head out of the Copa MX match. Whether they win, if they win, then okay, then great. Come Friday, I need you ready for Sunday's game.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
Simple.
I really, really, really want to see an America side to go and play the game that they did against Tigres in the good spells that they had. Against Chivas, the good spells that they had. Get all of those good spells and make them into, like you said, Dylan, a full 90-minute performance.
Yeah. No, full 90 minutes has got to be. It has to be at this point.
I mean,
I bet you can go back to the Apertura about this time too, and we're saying the exact same thing.
Most likely,
yeah, definitely. We're a broken record at this point. But it's for the good of what we're saying for America.
Yeah.
And I think Piojo knows it at this point too. He knows it. He's lived it. It's no surprise to no one whatsoever that you really need to get this game going. It's a Clasico at the end of the day too. You need that kind of momentum pushing you forward, knowing that you got the Clasico down, you got it going. So just go, keep performing, keep it rolling, play the simple ball, win the midfield. You're gonna have an advantage that your midfield's gonna be a little bit more stronger. Doesn't mean that you automatically win it. You just have to go out there and prove it. But you shouldn't have that difficult of an opposition ahead of you. So simple, just go perform, play the game that you know that you can. Don't let Cruz Azul get in the rhythm. And again, just get the early goal and keep fighting, keep going. And if you can do that, then by all means necessary, continue to perform how you're going about it.
100%.
Alrighty, gentlemen. Well, prediction time. Dylan, give me your prediction. No. I gave it to you first. I'm going to give it to Christian this time. Christian, give me your prediction for Sunday's game.
Sound like he just like drink. He just sound like he drinks like a cold beverage and he's like it was so good and refreshing.
3-1.
The beverage of truth. Let's see.
3-1.
3-1 for America.
3-1. Yep.
Dylan?
2-1.
2-1 for America. I'm going 1-0.
He did it too. He said
that's gonna be stressful.
I'm not looking forward to a 1-0 if that
is. I'm over here hyping them, talking like, yeah, we can go and destroy it. Just keep going, pushing. I'm like, but I think we win 1-0.
I think either way it's gonna be stressful.
No, 100%. Yeah. I mean, a Clasico is always stressful in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I think we should feel confident knowing, you know, with our starting 11, with our strongest starting 11, we've been playing great. We've seen it in the Chivas. In the Chivas games, we've seen it against Tigres. We saw most of them against Tijuana in the 4-0. We know we have the idea going forward. We know what to do. We know the goal. We know how Piojo wants to play his game. So I think if we just stick to that, like Ivan said, just implement it on this team, we should come out victorious. And that's what all we're hoping for.
I will say this: if you get
Execution.
Yeah.
no. I was going to that. If you can get 2 goals in the first half, you will see the floodgates open for you in the second half against Cruz Azul.
Yes.
I think Cruz
Because
Azul will
then
get desperate. They will go and they would just leave the floodgates open for you to attack. And if you're smart and you utilize it, this game easily becomes 4-0 in your favor. But
honestly,
you need to get that final third decision making right.
no, definitely. And honestly, I think you said it perfectly. Not even 2 goals, just 1 goal, honestly, in my opinion. This game is so important for both teams because if there's a loser in this game and results happen, one of these two teams could be out of the Gia zone at the end of this week. So
Definitely.
both teams have to come into the mindset that we can't lose, or else we're potentially looking at being 8 or 9 going into the last 3 games of the season, and you do not want to be that team that is 7, 8, 9 going into the last 3 games of the season. So this game's going to be very important. At times, I kind of want to say this game is more important than tomorrow, but then again, we never saw controversy, so I'm not going to go there. But the players have to be 100% focused. They have to get their mind straight. Win or lose tomorrow, this game is a must-win, 100,000,000%. Because if we lose, if we draw, I don't want to be that guy, but things can get tricky with 3 games to go.
Yeah, definitely. And you're not secured
No,
at this point. You're not. So you gotta make the points. You really gotta, it's so tight right now. Like
yeah,
you have
it's
no
really
idea
tight.
how there's no
There's like
elbow room.
6
It's
teams fighting for spots.
let me paint a picture for those of you who have gone to Mexico City and have taken the subway during rush hour and have gone inside. That is how tight it is right now at the league table. So that is as tight as it's getting right now. So America really, really needs to get and pick up those points. But I think we'll be fine as long as we get those goals, as long as we get a smart America, and as long as we get a Piojo who knows how to control his team and when to make the right substitutions. Correct, Dylan?
That is correct. You're right on the money. A cookie for you.
I think Dylan's practicing his best show host voice for when he wants to do you want to be a millionaire?
Oh, dude, no, nah. I almost
No,
see myself doing.
What would you host?
I would host Jeopardy.
Jeopardy? You know what? I could see you in Jeopardy as well.
But I'd never live up to Alex Trebek. I would never.
Those are some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I could never do it.
Well, a lot of people could say Cowboy Dan could even surpass it. But that's just me. That's just me here saying that. But regardless of the fact at hand, we're going for 2 victories, and we're going for a pretty good week. And at the end of Sunday, we're all going to be hopefully rejoicing on 3 points and a cup, and looking forward to the rest of the closing season.
Yes. And hoping for a happy podcast next week.
Happy podcast. Even though we always find something to criticize, though, let's be honest.
Yes. But honestly, if we have 2 victories, I probably won't complain much, to be honest.
Yeah, well, me being the host, I think I have to find something to.
Yeah, but about. Just the importance. Just the importance of 2 wins this week. It's really season defying, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I said, you need to carry momentum with you as far as you can.
So that's that. This is a huge week coming up for us. I hope everyone's strapped in and ready, because it's going to be a roller coaster of emotions over the next 5 days.
Yeah, the next 5 days. So in 7 days from now, we're gonna be in 1 or 2 moods. So let's hope it's a good one. Let's hope it's a really, really good one. Alrighty, gentlemen. Before we end the show, let's give a quick shout out, a quick segment to the Lady Aguilas, who again picked up not only 3 points, but a 4-0 victory. Unfortunately, though, because of this victory, we did see one of our ladies tear their ACL. Um, Dylan, who is the unfortunate soul to get the injury?
Vivian Michel.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, was our new signing of the season, correct?
Yeah, yeah, that's correct.
So it's quite heartbreaking to see. I think she was applying herself to the team, finally getting into it, and then this happens. Terrible, terrible. I think the ladies are suffering a little bit of the men's kind of plague, and we're seeing them fall a little bit here and there. Um, this comes maybe a couple of weeks after one of the other ladies got injured pretty badly, and now they're looking a little bit thinner, if I'm not mistaken, depth wise at least.
Yeah, a little bit, but there's some a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The ladies already secured themselves into the Liga.
I was just about to
So
say
Yeah,
that the only
yeah,
positive
yeah,
for
yeah,
this that we're always secure.
yeah,
So we have a few
yeah.
weeks to figure out how to replace players and get everyone going again.
and I think that's the only sad thing is that these are crucial players that you're losing, and
Mhm.
I'm not playing to anyone down because I think every single one of those ladies plays a detrimental role in the team. But let's face it, there's starters and there's people that can come and impact the game off the bench, and that's kind of the reality of the game. So I really hope that they can cope with these injuries. I hope they can cope with it. I think the ladies are strong. They have a good foundation. They have a good idea of what they're playing at. I think they're straying away from that long ball United, even though they do fall at it at times. But even so, I'm seeing good things from them. So let's hope that the ladies continue to keep playing well. And Dylan, do we know when their next game is?
Monday, the ninth. That's the 19th, right?
No, Monday
No, the
is
15th,
the
15th,
the
15th,
15th.
15th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
15.
yeah. Monday. They'll play. They're playing Pachuca.
Ooh,
Oh, that is not an easy game.
No,
Not an easy
that
game
will not.
whatsoever.
That's not gonna be an easy game.
But I think it's going to do the ladies well right before the end of the Liga. I mean, the season starts before the Liga is about to head, because I think it really puts them in perspective as to where they're at and whether or not they can keep competing for that bicampeonato, which I think they still can. I think they still can. I think all they need to really do is go out there, perform, and keep showing heart the way that they have.
Yeah, I mean, a win or a draw here, they got the top spot secure.
Definitely. So, ladies, we will be paying close attention to you. So, I urge you, play with heart, play with honor, and play for those fallen ladies of yours, and get those 3 points and get yourself into the first comfortable position, because in that way you can coast a little bit closer to that bicampeonato. Gentlemen, anything else you guys want to add on to the ladies?
No, just two more games till Liga starts.
there you go.
2 more games. Like I said,
Crunch
momentum,
time.
so important. So
Mm-hmm.
important for both the men and the ladies. So, ladies, keep the rhythm going, keep your heads up, and keep striving for that bicampeonato. As always, Monday, ladies and gentlemen, when you guys wake up first thing before you even brush your teeth, before you even get ready to go to work, hashtag Lady Aguilas. Let them know that we are behind them all the way, especially after a tough week where they lost Michel, and they have to go up now against Pachuca. But with that said, ladies, we are with you, and we will be rooting for you all the way. Gentlemen, I think that does it. We are coming to the end of the show. Anything else you guys want to add before we head out of here?
Just strap in. This is going to be a great week for us, hopefully.
I hate
Strap in.
roller
It's time for the
coasters.
season. Well, Dylan, you hate roller coasters, but you've been living one your whole life with America.
Exactly. I think that's with any sports fan.
That's true. That's true. But hey, what more can we say? Again, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me out. As always, you guys have been wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Ivan. It's so nice of you to say about us.
Yeah, thank you, Ivan. It's my favorite time of the week.
Favorite time of the week, favorite time of the week with you guys as well as always. Thank you to everyone who came out today. Our good friends at La Resaca Americanista, Carlos Diaz, Oscar, Diego Martinez, Carlos Serna, Emperor Palpatine. Who am I missing? I know I'm missing a whole bunch as well. Chicken Nugget, Chicken Little,
You didn't say
Louis.
my name.
Oscar.
I mean, I can't name you guys all, but thank you so much for coming out. For everyone listening on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Spotify, we thank you so much for the support and for the love. If you guys do not already follow us on Twitter at Eagle Eye Podcast, we have you guys covered live with everything in regards to both games, both the Copa MX final and the Clasico Joven this week. And as always, make sure you guys stay interactive with us. We're so close to that 1,000 follower mark, and we'll let you guys know what we'll do for that when we get there. But without further ado, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you to every single one of you guys. We will have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'm sure about it, because in my heart, I know that we are due for some justice. As always, guys, thank you again so much for coming out. If you guys can make it out to the live shows, as always, we recommend. They're much fun. Everyone has a great time in the chat. Everyone has a great time doing trivia, and everyone just really comes out and enjoys it. Dylan's audio for his 7 influential ways to become a cowboy will be out very soon. And without further ado, I think that does it for us. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Until tomorrow, when we guys catch you guys on Twitter, and until next week when we catch you guys here on the podcast. As always, it's been your boy Ivan, Christian, and Dylan from the Eagle Eye Podcast. Have a great day. Until next time, take care. And as always, Arriba la America.